Welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dovston and it is great to have you here with me for our weekly I Ching overview. This week for the 23rd of May 2022. Right, so let us have a look at last week. We had the return of hexagram 16 enthusiasm. This time with some progression of the lines, no longer trumpeting out, asking for help. Now we get the support and lots of pressure where we had to really focus and deal with the ever-present now because the pressure was barreling down upon us, and that actually saved us from some issues we might have wasted our energy in. Okay, so how was last week for you? How were you preparing for the future, the ability to act spontaneously? What was the preparation work you undertook to really focus this energy? And of course, the groupings that emerged. What were your insights around the groups that you really belonged with and the meaningful purpose that binds you to those groups? Right, interesting stuff. This week, we have two very interesting hexagrams. Our first one is hexagram 1, the creative. This is the first hexagram of the set of 64. It represents the power of creative energy, of creative power, the surge of energy, of creative potential, the seed that wants to bring new life, rebirth, new energy into our lives. So we've had in May, we've had hexagram 3, difficulty at the beginning or sprouting, showing us this birthing and sprouting and growing process that's creating a lot of growth and is putting us under some pressure. Well, in this week we have hexagram 1 saying new cycles have begun. Yay! I know that many love this idea of new energy coming in. And of course, creative power talks about the surge of creative potential, the surge of energy to begin new things, to forge ahead, to initiate, to start. So if there is something that you are starting right now, this is excellent energy to work with to help accelerate and generate and put impetus into what it is you are doing, the seeds that you are planting. So I would encourage you that if you've been putting off starting something, this is the week to do it. Hexagram 1 is the ultimate masculine creative energy. It's the dragon soaring through the sky, a very powerful symbol of this roar of mythical power as this fierce dragon just explodes through the sky and barrel rolls and turns and breathes fire. And you can just get this feeling of this power and energy that comes with this new beginning, with this hexagram. Something is wanting to be born, something is wanting to burst forth, and our creative energy is surging. Perhaps you might even find you have some sleep issues this week because your energy is running hot. Okay, there's creative energy that is wanting to come and we need to work with it. If you feel like you need to get up at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning because you've got ideas you need to get down, do it. Just go with the surge of creative energy. Begin new things, start new cycles. And certainly this hexagram also makes us aware of new personal cycles we begin, new cycles of our own growth, new beginnings within our own psyche, and perhaps the realization that as we begin something, we realize just how much we have said goodbye to the things we no longer need, things that we've completed, the things from the previous cycle we have put down. Wonderful. So we have two changing lines this week, and they are both in tricky positions. Okay, in the first position and in the 6th position. So with the line positions, when you get a changing line, the position the changing line comes in also tells a story. So changing line 1 is a line that often brings something that's arriving, okay, something that is emerging into the current situation because we go from the bottom up, right? Changing line 6 is something that is dissipating. It's the culmination point. Okay, so you see there's a cycle through the 6 steps of emergence, the beginning, and then the cultivation at the end, the completion of that cycle. Okay, so changing line 1. This is called the dragon is hidden, do not act. Okay, so if we think about this dragon power I explained to you, this soaring fierce dragon, this dragon is still submerged below the horizon, below, out of sight. Imagine it's kind of buried or it's in an underground cavern. It's not accessible. It's not visible, we can't see it. And our challenge is not to think that even though we can't see it, that we have unfettered access to this creative power. So what we tend to do is we say, well, I want to get going anyway. I want to get moving. I can feel this creative energy. And so we launch ourselves into moving forwards. But the creative power that we need to tap into, that we need to use, is still in the underground cavern. He's not quite asleep. He's awakening. But he is certainly not available for us to draw on his energy. So as we start off the week, is a warning here of just watching and being very attentive to when we use this creative energy, this creative power, of not to over-assume that we already have it when he's still stirring in the cavern. Okay, so as much as this new beginning has started, the advice of this changing line is don't rush out the gates. Just let this poor dragon wake up in his own time, okay, because he will emerge, he will come out the cavern, he will come out the horizon, and then we can work with him, all right, but just not yet. Our changing line in the 6th position, what is culminating and exiting, is this visual of the dragon being so high and so far out that the dragon has lost touch with what is actually happening in the rest of the world. So this dragon has tried to go too far, like really way out to the stratosphere, and so has become disconnected and isolated from what's happening on the ground. This line really asks us to pay attention to not overdoing the dragon energy of the creative energy. So it's interesting because we have this line coming in saying, the dragon is hidden, do not act yet. And we have this line saying, don't overdo the energy, don't overuse your power, don't go so far and try and push, that you get completely cut off and lost in the stratosphere. Okay, so those lines are in a way a little similar. Knowing when to push, let things lie and percolate, and when pushing is too much. When we are applying our very strong wills to will and force something, to move faster and to be something that is not. When we shouldn't be doing that. When we should be just staying closer to earth and being realistic and being grounded and being connected to what is happening in the here and now. So those are our 2 changing lines. Both of them warnings. Okay, one is we could overshoot by going too fast out the gate, okay, when the dragon is still hidden. The other one, the dragon is overextending its power. It's overusing its power when it's time to actually culminate and come back to the nest, come back to ground, come back to the simple and the modest and feet on the earth. As a result of those 2 lines, our outcome hexagram for this week is hexagram 28, great pressure. So from last week, one of the changing lines said, oh, there's pressure that's coming and it is going to hold us back from overexerting and going down avenues we shouldn't. Well, we have hexagram 28, great pressure for this week. It's sitting with this new beginning. Now, the nuclear hexagram is not something we often talk about on the channel in terms of the weeklies. The nuclear hexagram of 28 is hexagram 1. And so we have this new beginning and we have 28 pressure, which is also a new beginning. There's lots of things happening. Great pressure is, from a hexagram point of view, you can see the very soft female lines on either side, the yin lines, with this massive big power beam of power. Okay, there's creative power in the middle. And so these lines struggle to contain the flow of energy, the pressure that's bearing down. This hexagram is all about learning how we deal with crisis and stress, how the best and the worst of us come out in a time of pressure, and how do we deal with pressure. We focus on the scaffolding, reinforcing what we have, putting down things that are unnecessary, focusing on what's really critical, mission critical, and reinforcing our structure. This is the wobbly walls, the sagging pressure on the roof beams that's threatening to collapse the structure. We need to reinforce our support base, reinforce our foundation, shore up our wobbly walls, and brace against this pressure. There's creative energy flowing. The currents are running very hot this week, and there's this opportunity to break through and to be an individual and to walk alone and to find new paths forward. If we can find a way of dealing with our stress, if we can step into the crisis in front of us, not necessarily a negative crisis, can just be an abundance of work and pressure and timelines. We can lean into the crisis. We can maximize the new beginning that's popping out of it, the creative power that is wanting to bless us, but we have to learn how to deal with pressure and stress. We have to learn how to put down what's not necessary and shore up the scaffolding. Okay, you can do this. Lots of creative power this week, lots of energy, lots of things opening, and new energy starting to reveal itself. As we start off the week, we have this hidden dragon. Perhaps it's not clear as to what is emerging, but that evolves throughout the week as the pressure kicks in and the energy kicks in, and we just have to go for it. So a reminder then, also go and fill out the giveaway. Follow the link below this episode to go and get your question to the I Ching. The closing date's the end of May. I'll draw 4 winners. So not much time left. Go along and participate. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, like, share, and subscribe. It'd be great to have you join the channel. There are some new episodes, a tutorial, and an I Ching 101 series episode for you to check out on how to cast the I Ching coins if you're interested in that. Other than that, I'll see you on the socials, and of course, I will see you very soon.